Get this fired up here. And then make sure that I got all the windows open here so I know. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Spoken Reader Nation, Author Nation contest. I'm Joe Solari from Author Nation. We've got a wide cast of characters here that we'll be introducing in a moment. I'm just getting all my windows set here in case anybody raises their hand or anything. Let me welcome some folks here. We got as people come in, be sure to share where you're coming from. And then Stacy's here from Spoken. We got Dr. Phil from Spoken. We got Joshua from Spoken. Is that everybody?
That's everybody from Spoken, yes.
All right. We've got our judges and we got some contestants. So why don't we get started? I'm going to hand this over to who's Stacy? Are you?
I think we're gonna let Phil kick it off just real
Oh,
quick.
Phil.
Well, hi, everybody. My name is Phil Marshall. For those of you I have not met, although I have met several of you, I am the founder and CEO of Spoken, and I'm really grateful for your participation in this really unique contest. It wasn't that long ago that we were brainstorming, Stacy and Joshua and I, about what really makes the audio works that we're listening to so distinct, and it always came from who wrote it. In one way, shape, or form, it always came from there. And I know as an author myself that there's a lot that I bring through to my stories. I've been told there's a little bit too much of you in your stories, Phil. I've been told that, which I suppose can be true. But in listening to all of the contestants' works for this contest, it more than met all of our hopes for it, because each one absolutely came from that author and could have come from no one else. And so for that, we're really grateful. And, as a company that uses a lot of tech, and we use artificial intelligence, sometimes it can be said that the human gets lost in that mix, or the human is getting lost in that mix. And we know within our team and with the authors that we work with, that their humanity is in fact what makes it great. And so really, really grateful for all of your participation on this. And so I'm going to turn it over to the hostess with the mostest, and that is Stacy Smith Rogers, to get us moving on toward the awards. Go for it.
Thanks, Phil. What an honor to be able to curate this contest. I've had a lot of jobs in my career, and I will say this is probably my favorite project so far. To be able to bring together these stories that may have never been able to have been shared in audio in this fashion, and to add the element that Phil was just talking about, that personal story behind it, really set it apart. I'm constantly saying and echoing what Phil said, that there are humans behind the technology that we are building and improving on the daily. And this contest really proves that. And I really appreciate everyone sharing so vulnerably, because that's a tall ask. I wasn't sure if we would get a lot of people to participate, because it's a lot to dive into, like who you are, why it was that only you could tell the story. And it was very it's just a very awesome situation in regard to the turnout that we had. In fact, we were supposed to only have 10 finalists, and we ended up with 12 because we had some ties. And then we ended up with a list of 20 honorable mentions. That's a whole lot. And there was a lot of others I wanted to add to that list, but Bill stopped me and said, "No, that's enough, Stacy. You got to stop." So,
Yeah, I think that that's the hardest part of when you do these things is
yeah,
when you see so much good stuff come in and you're like, oh God, like why do we put ourselves in the situation we have to make these kind of choices? And I'm
I
sure for
know.
the folks that were involved in judging, it's the same kind of thing.
Hmm.
You know, uh,
Absolutely.
It's the
Speak.
same thing we go through with the show and trying to select sessions, right? We just were going through it for the past couple days, and it's like there's just not enough good slots, right? You have to make these sacrifices.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of judges, Cody Cisco is on this call. And I'd love for you to, Cody, you can chime in here in a little bit about what it was like to be a part of this project. Let's see, I know I saw you somewhere. Cody, are you in a position to lean in a little bit? Cody is, he is one of our advisors, and Cody is a prolific sci-fi author, and he knows a little bit about sharing personal story too. Cody, tell us a little bit about your experience in judging.
Yeah, well, I love reading new work, and I love opportunities to be able to discover new authors and experience their stories. This was actually quite special in that the pairing of the audio of the story and the audio of the author's inspiration and their message and all the things that they wanted to share about their work. That's more rare. Like a lot of times we'll get that in like a cover letter or on the side in like like an email, but to hear it, from them in audio was something special. So yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity to have been able to judge for this.
Yeah, and I like the mix of the personal stories. Some people chose to record their own actual voice, which is actually my favorite. I love to do that because in studio you have the opportunity to use your actual voice, and you can use your clone voice too. But and then there was others who really eloquently submitted it in writing, and it was just a really vulnerable sharing and really fantastic offering of what the true heart behind the writing. And really appreciated it myself. I know everybody on our team enjoyed the diversity of genres. And there was, I mean, we pretty much have it covered here. We are celebrating bold original storytelling across science fiction, fantasy, historical fiction, drama, memoir, literary romance, and fiction. And what was interesting about this too was the element that we added with the cinematic book teasers and the opportunity for us to judge. We had a panel of 8 judges. I don't see any others on the call here, but we had some fantastic, very experienced, high profile judges who helped us out, narrow it down, and then we tossed it to the public. And that's where it gets interesting, pairing it with the trailers and encouraging people to get a sneak peek before they dove in and then to stream and score. And we were very happy with the activity. And we appreciate you guys sharing it with your audiences. As we all know, it takes word of mouth is probably the best way of sharing with others. And we appreciate you sharing your experience with Spoken and with Author Nation, Reader Nation. I think, Joe, you can probably speak to this. This is kind of reflective of community, the community that happens when people meet in person and they talk to each other, and then they're like, wait a minute, I think I can bring you into the fold. So, did you want to say anything else about the Author Nation community and how we, continue to build upon that, even when
Yeah,
the conference is not in session? This is kind of
yeah,
fun. I feel like this is part of Author Nation, continuing that community aspect.
for sure. I think that, like for us behind the scenes, we've got so much stuff going on. I mean, you guys know how hard it was for us just to schedule in things between stuff that you guys have going on and we've got going on, because um, there's always something we're trying to do, even if it's getting ready for the show. So like this was kind of coming off this great idea that you guys had after the 26 show. We're in the process of evaluating the romance anthology, the graphic novel anthology, the mystery thriller anthology. Um, we just did the our first virtual expo, which you guys were on, and we had a huge turnout for. So we're trying to not just have more things all year round, but we're trying to expand the community, right? Like it for those of us that come to the show, we know how cool it is and how fun it is to hang out together face to face. but there's a lot of folks that either financially or for their health or whatever might reason, they don't have that kind of access. So to be able to do some of this stuff and, give them the same kind, as close as possible experience we can, as well as, just expand our horizons. I think for a lot of folks, um, that, it for, or at least for us, we're seeing more and more people that just don't have any idea that companies like Spoken exist, or BookFunnel, or all the different opportunities there are for authors to um, take their stories to their community. So I know I was all over the place there, but that's kind
Yeah,
of,
no, I love that.
yeah.
And one of the really fun things that I think that I think each of you finalists were a little wild was when we Joshua, my colleague Joshua Pavato, he's the lead for our video team, and when they brought your stories to life in those teasers, I wanted to toss that to Joshua just to share a little bit of behind the scenes of what that was like to take someone's story in a contest like this and crank out those trailers within a week, I might add. 12 trainers. When I told them, I said, no, we have to add two more. They're like, all right, well, let's do it. Joshua, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, thank you. So it was so exciting for us to partner with Author Nation and Reader Nation on this. And right away, it got our wheels turning with the reader side of the equation and sort of realizing that right now, readers don't really struggle with access to stories, but they struggle with connection to stories. So we thought of a multi-tiered way to connect a reader to a story. And it was like Stacy mentioned, that three-step process of that really tight, captivating 30-second teaser trailer to the full story, and then finally landing on that personal connection. So it was a really nice reader journey we wanted to curate to arrive at that discovery of your personal stories. And the feedback was really positive. People enjoyed doing just that. So the teaser itself originated from something Spoken's been doing for a while now, and that is the cinematic book trailer, which is more like a 1 minute full length trailer. A little more on that when we get into the prizes. But that trailer was the most tropish moments from the story, comprised of 3 to 4 scenes, and then with your Spoken created audio layered over top to create this really immersive movie-like trailer. The teaser is the shortened version of that. And so it was both a challenge and exciting to look at each of your stories. The genres were so diverse, like was mentioned, and that gave us so much room to play in different fields and try to capture those moments that would draw a reader from that genre in. And so it was so exciting to do and curate in that gallery. And it's working as a really interesting discovery mechanism. So you all know your teasers are drawing in thousands of views on YouTube and pointing them to your stories over time. So we're really excited by that. And it's going to continue to be part and parcel of Spoken in its evolution. So thank you for being the first group to be hosted in this gallery format. Really exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I love seeing them brought to life. I love seeing them all together on the page for the your story. Just in clicking, I clicked on them numerous times just to see being brought to life. It was so great. I think right now we had mentioned we'd like to hear each of the finalists a quick just introduction, maybe under a minute, is because we don't have a lot of time here, and because there are 12 of you, but not everyone could be on the call. Some people are asleep in different parts of the world and had a couple of conflicts. But as I see, and I'm just going to call you guys out because I see Dana first. So I was wondering, Dana, can you just introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us what you write. Tell us what you're thinking about with audio in particular, because this is where we want to hear from you what you're doing with audio. If we can all keep it under a minute, that'd be great.
Oh, it was all good there until you said under a minute, and now I'm no. So I write mythic fantasy. So I have 2 series. Book 1's out, and books 2 and 3 in each of these series are solidly in draft form. One's with an editor right now, but with this historical fantasy focused mythic fantasy, has a reasonable degree of research that goes into it and meets sort of historical fantasy readers' expectations. And this series, no research, not historically accurate, more historically inspired, and hits more of the romanticy type of readers' expectations. In life, I cannot pick a lane. That's me in all days of life. So I think I've done really well to be able to pick a lane and then split it into only two. But possibly a little less so when I also share my not so secret second pen name, where I write for much younger readers. And as Debbie Linden, I write the books that I know my daughters need. And for a while there, I was a teacher. I've been many things. One of them was teaching in adult ed and then secondary school for a while. So I know there's a lot of other kids who need those same things as my girls, and it helps me deal with all of the lanes I can't possibly pack.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Dana. I want my daughters to read those books. We want to hear them in audio too, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I've been
trying. Saying thumbs up on that. Let's get them in audio.
I'm going to grab a little more of that minute I've already used. People are mentioning glowworms already in the chat there. I lived in New Zealand for about 3 years as well, and there's glowworms. There's glowworms in here too. It's fun. New Zealand, some of the caves there.
That's great.
Yeah, and audio. Just throw in that pitch about audio. I am so excited about what you guys can offer for audio because I've got a really full life. If you didn't pick that up about me already, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. And the amount of books that you can access if you add audio is just worlds up on if you are stuck trying to carve space to read with your eyes. So I'm so excited about the quality of audio that you guys offer. And I hope more authors get on board as well, because I want to hear everyone else's stories as well as being excited to get mine out there to people who are too busy to read with their eyes. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Dana. We hope so too. Antoinette, let's hear from you.
All right, it's great to be here. Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to see faces. Yeah, we really are all people. Here we are. So what do I write? I'm going to jump off Dana a little bit. I have trouble picking a lane. I'm pretty early in my author journey. I tend to gravitate towards literary fiction and drama. And I'm still early in this journey, but I have been trying to learn more about publication, whether that's traditional or self-publication. And honestly, audio was not something I had thought about because it seemed something very out of reach. With spoken, it's not. And I just think that's so wonderful. I am a ballet teacher. I've been a ballet teacher for 20 years working with young people. And so I am very well acquainted with different learning styles, different ways that students intake information, can process and appreciate information. And I always think of them with anything I'm doing, they're my heart. And so the idea of being able to put what I'm doing into audio to create better access for different kinds of readers, different ways for people to enjoy storytelling is really exciting for me and very close to my heart. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Antoinette. We appreciate that. Is A.M. Scott.
Sorry, didn't want to unmute. Hopefully I can speak without my dog speaking as well. We'll see if that happens. I am Anne Marie Scott. I write space opera science fiction as A.M. Scott, and I write military romantic suspense as Anne M. Scott. But the piece I did for the spoken contest was just a little different. as I said in my commentary, it came to me kind of in a dream. Um, and I find that I work really, really well under pressure, and I work very well with a prompt. So this spoken contest really drove me to use your tool a lot more. I've been meaning to do that forever. It's been on my list. So I'm very grateful for the chance, the opportunity that this contest gave me to dive into it and really use it. I think it's got great potential, particularly for those of us who it would be prohibitive for me to do my 8 book series in real voice actors. So spoken is a great opportunity to get that done at a much more reasonable cost, and it allows for people who cannot read anymore to actually listen as well to more diverse stories. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. How telling it is that you have dogs in the background, and your work, your piece was the hellhounds.
And can I just hop in there and say that that was one of the more unique trailers for us to have to create from that dog's point of view. So
Yes, I loved
That was so cool. I love that trailer.
it. It was great. I loved it too. Oh, there's so many of these. I loved all the different perspectives, and that one it surprised me. Um, Sansere, I see you up there. You and I have talked a little bit back and forth. It's lovely to see you in person. Can you share a little bit about you and what you're doing in audio and all the things?
Sure, thank you. Well, I am happy to be here as well and just to see everyone. And I did get a chance to listen to most of the audiobooks, and I really enjoyed them and just hearing everyone's different ideas and perspectives. I'm the author of The Artist Duel, and that story is part of a larger story arc I've been working on for about a year. So it's kind of a branch off short story from a bigger idea. But what I really enjoyed about this is being able to bring the story into a different format, and like many others have said, allowing readers to experience it from a different angle. Listening is sometimes a little bit different than just reading it yourself. So I'm really excited to kind of delve more into the tool and use some of the new updated features like where you can kind of customize the feelings being expressed by the characters and some of those other small details. So I'm looking forward to bringing more of my work and experimenting with that.
Thank you so much. We're looking forward to it as well. I see Phil grinning over there. He's so excited he can hardly stand it. We're working on a new release that's going to make that a lot easier for you too. And in the coming, just it's right around the corner. So thank you, Sansere. Adam, nice to see you there at midnight in Portugal. Thank you for joining us. Tell your family we said thank you for letting you escape for a bit.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yes. Can you hear me okay? Because I'm
Yeah.
in a noisy environment. Okay, these headphones are working great then. Hi, everyone. I'm a retired psychiatrist, and so I've been writing since maybe the last 4 or 5 years. I write a lot of short stories and just had some a novella come out and some longer form fiction coming out soon, I hope. I write in the magical realism space. I like to think that I write fiction at the intersection of psychology, religion, and mythology. And I am in Evora, Portugal. It's midnight, and I'm based in Portland, Oregon, normally. Anyway, so I really enjoyed listening to everyone's stories, and I would listen to them really when I was walking my dog, which I do several times a day. And it's definitely, I think people read less now, but they definitely listen more. So I'm really excited that the spoken tools allow me to get into this audio space. I have a pretty good website, and I tend to take the short stories and make them into audio format in the hopes that people listen to those more easily and gets them interested in the longer form fiction. And it's also just a lot of fun. I mean, if someone as old as me can use the spoken system to like do these things, that's pretty good. I mean, I'm not exactly, I'm a little bit tech challenged, and I'm able to do it, and that's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah, I think here's a link to, I don't know. I'm putting a link. That's a link to my book, and here's my website. But I didn't
Awesome.
think to bring a book to plop up on the screen because I'm on vacation. But
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
anyway,
Thank you.
I have a whole bunch of short stories, and I'm slowly transferring each one to a spoken audio file. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, that's exciting. We're thrilled for that. And we're based in Portland, so that's
Right. I met Phil at a conference long ago. I don't know if he
yeah.
remembers me, but that's how I found out about his product back in the day.
That was a day ago, wasn't it, Adam?
A little bit. For me, it was. It's just like whatever, 2 years ago or something.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
your contribution for sure. And if anyone else wants to throw their
Oh, wait,
website,
and if anyone has questions about Portugal, just hit me up. I've been to Lisbon and Porto and now Evora, and it's pretty amazing.
oh, that's great. That's awesome. And Natalie, you and I have been talking a little bit back and forth too. It's so good to see you here. Obviously, we enjoyed every one of these stories, and yours hit home to me in a very special way as well. So thank you for being here. If you can share a little bit about yourself and what you're doing in audio as well.
I enjoyed talking to you too. And I enjoyed all the stories. I listened to every last one of them. And I just enjoy the different perspectives that everyone came from. And I just wanted to tell you kudos to each one of you all. I see, Adam was talking about the age thing. We've all got a little silver in our hair, and it's legit, Adam. It's legit. When he said about being able to use the tools, I love it that somebody who does not have the technology know-how can go in and do it. I found spoken by chance, actually, because everybody was like, you need to do your books and audio because I'm not going to read it because my eyes are not like it is. I'm like, yeah, but everything I'm looking at costs too much. So I stumbled up on spoken. I can't remember exactly how now, but when I did, I was like, oh yes. And so I started doing it and everything. I was really excited about that. In reference to my book or my genre, I usually write ministry books. I am a minister, so I'm usually writing ministry books. However, God has taken me out of my comfort zone. I recently wrote a romance because I'm finding out that sometimes you can minister in ways that people don't expect, in coming at them from a different angle. And I'm finding that the Christian romance is addressing some things in the household of faith that people need, but we don't discuss because we just don't talk about it. But I'm like, we gonna talk about it. So that's the reason. The reason that I wrote my memoir, I actually literally wrote it in 7 days. It's a 7-day journey of grief, and it actually happened pretty much the way that it unfolded in my book when I lost my best friend, and just dealing with stuff as ministers, we keep going and going and going, but we don't stop to deal with our own stuff. And this was a front row look at the stuff. So the transparency, I pray, will give people insight that superhuman, we're just human. Yeah, deal with this stuff. So thank you for just allowing me to participate in spoken.
Thank you, Natalie. That's so sweet and wonderful. I love you for sharing it that way. That's awesome. Thanks. Julia, you're no stranger to spoken.
Yeah, I've been around for a little while, haven't I? I think I first met Phil in 2024, maybe, at the very first Author Nation, I think. And shortly after that, I jumped in on the beta of Spoken. So I've been working it for a while. Before that, I used a couple of other AI audio tools, and as soon as I tried Spoken, it was like, this is hands down the easiest to use. And so I've kind of been here ever since. I write science fiction, I write cozy fantasy, and I have a couple of romantic comedies as well. I would say my kind of uniting factor is everything's very cozy. I don't do angsty or dark. I do light and happy. What I've been doing with audio, well, the story that I did, I actually wrote in 2019. And it later became the beginning of a 4 novel series. Um, and it's a good series, but it just hasn't had like amazing sales. And so the idea of trying to hire someone to do the voice for it was a little scary. And so I thought I'd start with spoken and do that. And so that's what I did there. I have another series that I've done completely in spoken. And the voices are they're fantastic. Um, it's really, it feels like an accessibility issue to me. I think Annette mentioned that, or Antoinette, sorry, mentioned that, I have a brother who had a stroke and he can't see very well anymore. And so being able to uh, put my stories in a format that he can partake of is super important to me. I do have several series that are in audio with human narrators, and they're amazing. And sure, I'd love to have all of them that way, but that's let's be realistic here. These are so close. It really it works for me, I think. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm super excited to see what version 2.0 has coming out. There's so many. I mean, the current version is so good. It's hard to imagine what you guys have done with it. So I'm really excited to find out.
Julia, I just have to jump in, and my team already knows this, but I want you to know this, and I want everybody here, and under God's eye, I'm saying this, and that is, I privately call this Julia's Child, our V2 product. And the reason is because when you said, Phil, you can say it's a one-click audiobook, but it's not a one-click audiobook. And she said this in front of a crowd of people, and she was absolutely right. And I've got to tell you, Julia, that when you see what's going to come out next, you'll know that we're there. I mean, you're going to be amazed. So anyway, I call it Julia's Child privately.
My claim to fame is I insulted Phil in front of a
No,
group
no,
of
it was
people.
you spoke truth to no power.
Oh my gosh, I love
I'm
that.
excited.
We love the truth tellers around here. This is
That's right.
good. Morgan, we see you there. You're not a stranger to spoken either. You've been around for a bit through our beta program. So
I
great to
have.
see you here. Tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing in audio.
Sure. Well, hi everybody. It's nice to see all the faces. So my name's Morgan. I write science fiction, fantasy, and romance. Kind of those traditional blends, but not really in a traditional way. One of the reasons I entered the space was because I'm in that wave of people who wanted to see themselves in more diversity in what they read, which even includes being neurodivergent, being a immigrants family, part of an immigrant family, which kind of influenced my story about What Remains Unreturned, which is a sci-fi that was here. Um, but I mean, yeah, I've been in with Spoken since the first day. They came into a little group that I'm in of forward-thinking authors, and they spoke. I mean, they were like, well, this is our product right before it kind of started. And I looked around at the rest of them because I was already trying to figure out how I could make audio books, make my dreams come true. Yeah, it's nice to have that famous, narrator's voice that you like, and then you go look it up and it's like $5,000. And I'm like, dude, I gotta feed my kids. So when Spoken came, and it the quality of it, because before I even started, I knew about AI voices, and I love the industry. I knew ahead and told the rest of them, I was like, this is going to be amazing. I know what they're using. I know the tech. So I'm not surprised at where it is now, but I'm very excited to see it as it comes forward. And I use Spoken as part of my workflow. I use it to listen to my books before I even let it go to make sure it feels right. So I'm very excited because I have a bunch of them already in there that haven't even released yet. So I'm excited because it is officially part of my workflow. I love it. I see it as the future of the way that audiobooks are going to be produced for a lot of authors coming up. And I think everyone will enjoy what they're hearing because it's very well done. You guys did a great job.
Thank you, Morgan. We can't wait to hear more of your work come to life out into the real world. So we appreciate that. And Philip Keys, I think that you're rounding us out, all the finalists there. I'm sorry that my name is stuck on your face, but we all know it's not me, it's you. Philip with a 1L, right?
That's right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Tell us where you're coming
Good.
from too. Remind us, where are you from?
Okay. So I'm Phil Keys. I'm the author of The Accidental Teacher from Melbourne, Australia.
Mhm.
So yeah, so it's really a privilege to be a part of this journey. And thank you to Phil, Andrew, Stacey, and the whole team of Spoken and Joe at Author Nation for providing this platform. I think it really is exciting for writers like myself, and it's exciting to be part of all these other writers who are so skillful in their art. So, what do I do? Well, I'm an enabler. I help others understand and apparently to be understood. And I do that through my teaching, my podcasts, and my memoir writing. And my memoir reflects really my learning journey as a child and how that shaped my life as an educator. And now that I help others find their voice where they are. Now, with this opportunity sort of just came across my table about 2 weeks before it was supposed to be due to be submitted. So I said, what will I do? I said, okay, I'll do the first 2 chapters of my book, of my memoir. And I put that together and then put something there. So it's so fantastic to just do this. So for me, the audio book, there's a couple of things I like about the audio book. It creates that immersive experience, that participative experience. They invite the listener to just imagine the scenes, the characters, and motion. In a way, they just become part of the storytelling, and you sort of become a participant, a little bit different from a book. And that's what I like about the audio. And I wasn't thinking of going audio at first. I thought I'd just go the traditional way, but this is more exciting. So what am I looking for? I guess is a platform for meaningful, reflective memoir. Something that helps my audience understand and something that allows me to be understood. And so that's what I'm looking for. And the audience that I'm targeting are busy young parents, busy young moms and dads who take their children to school and so forth like that. And they just need my story in a short, memorable segments that they can listen to on the way they drive the child to school. Like I said, it's a slice of my apple pie. Brief, but something that lingers long in the mouth. And that's what I like to do. And I also looking and thinking about the idea of how I can make this more interactive and engaged, where the listeners can reflect and even ask me as the author questions about their own journey and talk to me in that way. And so it can become an interactive story in that way. So those are the things I thought about as I went through this experience. And yeah, so guys, thanks so much. It's really wonderful to be a part of this journey. And to all my fellow writers, without you, this competition doesn't exist. You have fantastic stories, and to hear them being said and spoken here, this is great. And thank you to Author Nation, Joe, and the team there for hosting and facilitating the process. Fantastic job you guys do. Thank you.
Philip, thank you so much. I have a special liking of apple pie myself, and I like to let that linger a little longer too. And your words were beautiful. Thank you so much.
You too.
I think we've rounded out all of our finalists that I see. I don't, if there's anyone else that's on the call, I don't think so. There was a couple who couldn't make it here tonight. Um, and that was Steve Higgs, author of Never to Be Solved. And is Gary here tonight? G.E. Perlin? He was a maybe. Okay, and I knew that he had something that came up that couldn't be. And Gabriel Stroop, he was preparing something for his master's or something he had to actually be in class for or deliver. So I don't think that he's got a really good excuse there. So So thank you so much for it. It's lovely to hear from everybody, to see your faces after being so immersed in your stories. It was fantastic. As we had mentioned earlier as we announced the contest, the personal story part of this is really important. And we had one of our judges, her name is Isabel Knight, who is a brand specialist. She is an expert, and she donated a 1 hour consultation we randomly drew among the finalists, and A.M. Scott was awarded that 1 hour consultation with Isabel Knight. So we're excited about that. Phil has personally worked with Isabel. I got to know her at Author Nation. Again, Joe, here we are, all these relationships building from what you're building by connecting people. So we're excited to see what AM does with Isabel in her 1 hour or more. Um, and then Joshua and I had been talking with Phil the other day, and we thought let's honor a couple more awards alongside the grand prize winner for a couple of categories, and I'll let Joshua and Phil announce those. We've got Joshua, I think, announcing the best performance, and Phil's going to announce the best personal story.
Sure. So actually, the winner of Best Performance is not with us today, but excited to announce that the winner for that award, Best Performance, is G.E. Perlin for his story, Silent the Listeners. Congratulations, Gary.
And so a little bit of context. So we had 3 categories of voting. We had the story itself, we had the performance, and then we had the personal story part of it. And so I'm pleased to share with you that the top scoring story on the best personal story was with her story, Mother Tongue, Antoinette Lemecq. So congratulations. It is an absolutely moving background of how she, in trying to overcome the loss of her mother, reconnected with her mother's culture, and really that was very central to her work. And so thank you for sharing that, and so we greatly appreciate that. Nice work. So now we're going to move on to the grand prize winner, and Joshua, is gonna highlight all of the great things that we have to offer this year's winner. Joshua?
Yeah, and an absolutely stacked and wonderful list of prizes here for the grand prize winner. Just a reminder, those are an Author Nation 2026 ticket, a VIP ticket to Reader Nation 2026, 100,000 words of narration on spoken, a YouTube production of your full-length audiobook, a full-length cinematic book trailer. So again, like I mentioned, there's the teaser. Those are what we produced. And then there's the cinematic book trailer. One of those, a post-contest interview, and a 1-year spoken subscription. And again, a reminder on that front, spoken subscriptions give the user 50% off all narration costs.
Great. Fantastic. All right. So I have the fantastic honor for our debut contest at Spoken and the Your Story contest to announce our winner amongst our finalists and of all of our countless submissions and runners-up. And he would have been disqualified had he not had 1 L in his first name. But I'm pleased to share that Philip Keys with The Accidental Teacher is our grand prize winner. So Philip, congratulations.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's pretty phenomenal. Oh, wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. Good. And it was, okay. Take a deep breath, Phil. Yeah. Is this really true? Okay. I
Phil,
hope this is real.
while you're catching your breath, can I interject some? Can I share our connection?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, so when and this Phil, of course, was awarded. This is public opinion that where the grand prize winner was chosen. But when I was connected with Phil's work, I reached out to him because if you've listened to his story, he's talking about growing up with a cleft palate, and he explained how it would have been for his parents. He imagined how his parents would have reacted in the hospital early on. And the amazing thing about that is that my oldest daughter just had the same experience with her daughter last year. So here we are, Philip, all the way in Australia, me in Kentucky with my 26-year-old daughter who's experiencing this. And he brought something that brought us all together. And wow, it's a small world after all. That's all I have to say.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear, Stacey, for that feedback.
Yeah.
It resonated with you when you sent me that email. I was already excited about that.
I know.
I was excited to just participate in the whole event. I was excited that I could make a submission, and I enjoyed the experience because I never thought I would do an audio book. I thought that might be down the track. I thought, like my fellow writers, and I thought, maybe I'll get there. But I liked the idea of audiobook. My granddaughter used to catch a bus to school deliberately to listen to audiobooks and refused her mother to take her to school. So I thought, yes, one day I'll do that. But when it came across my table, okay, I'll have a go at this. So, yes, guys, I think you've done a fantastic job. Phil, Marshall, Joe, Solaris, Stacey, all the team, you are tops. And it's really great to be something so exciting. I mean, I really believe this has got a great traction and we're going to go somewhere. And by the way, you like my sign? I put that sign
We do like that sign. That's great. Well, you'll have to keep that sign up when we do our interview. And Joshua and I will be doing an interview with you after that. So, and we would encourage.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. I'm going to toss this
Thank you.
over to Joe, and just wanted to thank everybody for being here. I'll let Joe close this out, unless Phil, if you've got anything else you want to say, or Joshua. Just again, thank you for being a part of this, part of our story, and thank you for trusting us with yours. We really appreciate it. We want you to be a continued part of our community, so reach out, email me anytime. Let us know how we can help you bring more stories to life. And I'll turn it over to you, Joe.
Thanks. First off, Stacey, thanks so much for all the work that you've done. You've been herding cats, not just on the author side, but even worse between Spoken and Author Nation, keeping all these plates spinning. So thanks so much for all the work you've done on this. You really carried this project to the end and done it successfully. So let's all give her a hand.
Oh, well, thanks. It's a team effort here.
No. Phil, was it? I gotta say, Stace, you carried a lot of the weight. So anyhow, for all of you, I really appreciate all the effort, and I think you all see what we're trying to do in collaborating on projects like this is help you guys find readers and listeners. And also find your tribe of people that are trying to do this crazy thing of, writing your stories and connecting. And we hope to be part of that experience for you. Like, a few of you I know are regulars at Author Nation, and we hope to see you again this year. I can tell you this, we have a spectacular lineup for speaking. I think that we have really found we're at this unique point in publishing, and there's a lot of things that are changing. And I know there's a lot of uncertainty for a lot of people. But I have a really bullish opinion of where things are going. And I think we're going to be showing you that there is way more ways for you to connect with your readers. And if your ideal thing is to be doing this for a living, how to do that. I can tell you on the reader side, which is kind of our biggest project, really starting from scratch and building that up. Yesterday, we just sold through half of our VIP tickets, so we've only got 200 more of those left. So it's crazy. You know, it helps when you've got Andy Weir showing up and he's got a movie with Ryan Gosling.
Yes, it does.
So Julia, yeah, are you signing?
I am.
I thought
I've been telling my readers that I'm sitting right next to Andy Weir.
I thought I saw that post. Yeah. Well, you're going to be in the room with them. So
Is
like,
Ryan
yeah,
gonna be there?
Who?
Ryan?
Ryan? I don't think so. I don't
Come
think
on,
so.
Joe. See what you can do about that.
Yeah. I'm yeah, after seeing the movie and how positive and hopeful it is, and just it really couldn't have landed as a better time. And the cool thing is how he is one of those he's us. Like, of course, he's at the apex of what's going on with a movie with the super hot guy and, you know, all the things he's got going on. But he started out as an author writing chapter by chapter on his website just for the love of writing. So like, I think that, you know, this is kind of a coming home and us all really seeing how we can collaborate. So, if you are in the area, cool, come to the show. If you're not, we've got quite a few people from over in Australia understand our free community. There's lots of opportunity for you to participate in things like our Kickstarter cohort, and where we are helping you to sell your books on Kickstarter. I know Cody's a big participant in that, and we want to help you figure that stuff out. We've got an amazing community around that. Phil with 1L will be talking to you about the logistics on your ticket and stuff like that. And we also have some tickets for the readers that voted, right?
We have one a VIP ticket, two VIP tickets for one of the readers, and we'll ask you to email them after the event.
Yeah. So, you know, that's the other part of what we're trying to facilitate is how we can have fun around folks who love to listen to stuff and love to read and help them build a community and find their next great author. And with that, I'm going to shut up because I still have to eat dinner.
I think it's time for all of us to eat dinner and to celebrate. Congratulations to everybody here and everybody who came. We appreciate that so much. So thank you.
Thanks for being part of this journey with us, everybody.
Thanks.
All
See you
right.
later.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thank you.